Hi, everybody. Welcome to Chat and Craft with Lorraine. My name is Lorraine Tierney, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I live in Warner, New Hampshire, and I love to make cards. I love to share cards, and I love to help other people make cards. I have a little bit of a cold. Maybe you can hear it. So I'm going to have a cough drop in my mouth. I have water right here, and hopefully I won't start coughing, but please excuse me if I do. I was trying to come on live last night and it didn't work. I lost some power in my studio for a really crazy reason, but it was a simple fix once we got an electrician here. So I'm on tonight. So we're going to do a technique called Joseph's Coat. And by the way, it's March 3rd, 2025. So let me switch my camera over. I want to make sure my sound still works when I do this because it gave me trouble not too long ago. So if you cannot hear me, please let me know. So I have 3 blending brushes and I have 3 colors of ink. I have Pretty in Pink, Summer Splash, and Gorgeous Grape. And I'm going to use my blending brushes and these colors to make a background on this piece of basic white. And this is just a piece of 5 1/4 by 4-inch regular basic white. So I'm inking up my blending brush pretty well. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Janlyn, for letting me know. And I'm going to do some blobs, I call them. I'm a big fan of different kinds of blobs in card making. So let's put some blobs on here. And this is not the kind of ink blending where we have to worry about it all being 100% even. This Joseph's Coat, as it's called, is a little bit different than that. It involves some of my favorite things, heat embossing. I love heat embossing. So I'm going to fill in some of these spaces with Summer Splash, kind of a bright, I don't know if it's green or if it's blue. What color is it? I think I would put it in the green family, but I don't think everybody does. Okay, and now I'm going to do little pink, but let me put just a little more Summer Splash right there. I try to close the color and move the brush away so I don't put the wrong brush in my ink pad and mess up my ink pad. And then I stick around after we do this card. I'm going to try something a totally different way to do this Joseph's Coat to see if I can save one whole step. And I have not tried it before. I've got it all set up, but I did not have time to try it before I came on live. So stick around and help me see if it works. Okay. So there's our background, but we're actually not going to use that background. And it has a little more coverage than it looks like when I look at it up in my monitor. It looks like there's some white space, but I don't really see that on here. It looks pretty solid, but this is wet. And even when I hit it with my heat gun and then I have some embossing powder on it, I get a lot of embossing powder where I don't want it. So this would be a good technique to start in the morning, do this part, and then come back a couple hours later and do some more on it. So I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to do this background that I did yesterday. And on this one, I actually masked off the areas. You can see I have kind of a hard line there. I'm not sure I like that hard line, but I don't think we're going to really see it when we're done. So this one I did hit with the heat gun, and it has been sitting now since I was going to go live yesterday. It's been sitting over 24 hours. So I'm going to use my embossing buddy on it. This is kind of anti-static so that you don't get embossing powder sticking where you don't want it. And I have my Versamark ink, and I'm going to use a new stamp set that comes out tomorrow. This is the Thankful Garden. It's part of a suite. I love it. Beautiful flowers, some nice sentiments. The flowers and the sentiments are bigger than they show here. This is at 75%, and it comes with masks and dies, and it's really quite fun. Hi, Judy. This is my next Stamp Camp suite. We're doing a Stamp Camp on May 3rd. It's a little bit smaller one. There's 6 demos participating. And if you buy the suite from me, you get the Stamp Camp for free, because I really like to add to the value of what you're purchasing and give you lots of ideas on how to use things. And this Stamp Camp focuses on fun folds and techniques. So I'm inking this up with Versamark, and I'm going to stamp it on here and give that a really good press on there and pull that up. And I think I may, I'm wondering about down here. I think I'm going to try, can I just do leaves? I don't think so. I'm going to put another little one off the paper because I don't want that all plain right there. I'm going to do that. And then on this side, I think I will just do a leaf. Okay. So perhaps you can see the Versamark image there. I'm using clear Versamark, and I do put a coffee filter in my tray because I find it's easier to pick that up and shake it back into the container. And I'm going to liberally cover this with embossing powder. Okay. Those flicks are really important for getting the embossing powder off the spot where you don't want it. Hi, Melanie. There are Canadian options for Stamp Camp, Judy. Send me a message and I can put you in touch with a demonstrator that you can purchase from. And that will set you up with everything you need, all the make and takes and everything like that. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Grace. You're watching from New Zealand. Awesome. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Carol. Okay, I'm going to melt this embossing powder now. This is one of the 7 wonders of the world. And I just love watching this melt. Oh, there's the tickle. I don't know if I can emboss and take a sip of water. Can you see it melting? It is so wonderful. Okay, so that is all melted. It is like magic. It is. Okay. Oh, that will help. Okay. So now with Joseph's coat, we do something very strange. We are going to cover that up totally. We are going to take, a lot of people use black. I'm going to use basic gray ink. It's pretty dark, but just a little softer than the black. And I'm going to just put this right over everything. And I'm actually, it'll take us forever to do it like that. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to rub it right over. You can see how dark that is coming out. I don't really want to hang on to that. I think I'm going to have to. Whoops. Got to hold your ink pad the other way so you can slide it without it coming out on you. And just keep going until you cover up that whole thing. And then you take a microfiber cloth or a paper towel and you just wipe the ink off of the embossing part. And you have this beautiful image that shines through. It reminds me of those things that when you were a kid you would use a kind of a waxy paper and you had like a wooden stylus and you would color on it and the colors would shine through. So that's what the Joseph's coat looks like. So you can do that with all kinds of stamps. Sometimes the heavier lined stamps work better. I'll show you a couple more in a minute. I'm going to put a little bit of twine around this. And this is a new pack of twine. I'm a twine addict. Pack Your Bags twine 3-pack that's coming out tomorrow. And the colors are Azure Afternoon, Shy Shamrock, and Strawberry Slush. And Strawberry Slush is not a color that we have right now. It was one a while ago and it went away. And now we're all wondering, is it coming back? Because we have Strawberry Slush twine. So maybe it is. So I'm going to tie this. I'm going to tie it over here, even though I don't think I want the bow over here, but that's where my ends are right now. And then I'll just move it that way a little bit. I need to trim that one. Okay. And I have a thanks so much that I did in Pretty in Pink. And I love an oval on our cards. I love an oval. Are you wondering where that oval came from? Well, wonder no more. That's another online exclusive. It's called the Framed Scenes Dies, and these are coming out tomorrow. There is a stamp set that goes with the bundle that has scenes. I forget what they are, but scenery stamps are not my thing. So I did not buy the stamp set, but I love those dies. And I've already used the oval so many times. My cat is saying hello, and asking you to please let the food bowl dispense the food a little earlier because he's tired of waiting. All right, I'm going to pop this up. Then I'm going to show you a couple of other cards that I made, and we're going to try the new or a different way of doing it. And it's pretty quick because I've got it all set up. But you can be part of the fun and see if it works. So there is that card. Here's another one. This is with the other flower that's in the same Thankful Garden stamp set, and with the With Love sentiment that's from Thankful Garden. That's from this set, and that's the other flower. I stamped it twice in similar colors. And then this one I did with the butterfly stamp set that I hope you all got as a celebration freebie because it's fabulous. And I used Old Olive, Calypso Coral, and Basic Beige for this one. And I thought that came out pretty. Now, what I was thinking was, what would happen if I used a piece of designer series paper that looks like a blended background or an ink background instead of making the background myself? So I've gone ahead on this one and I've used the more solid crab and the solid lobster. I've already clear embossed those on here. I think you can see them. And I did some coral and some bubbles. And I'm going to go with a much lighter color, more like a watery color. And I thought the boho blue would be a good match for this paper. So we're going to try doing this with the boho blue. Hopefully this ink pad is juicy enough. The DSP is not as thick, so it's wanting to move on me. I can tell it's not as substantial. So I'm having to be careful that I don't wrinkle it. Okay, well, let's clean that off a little. Get those colors to pop. So that worked, and that eliminated the step that you have that takes time in waiting for the ink to dry. So if you use a piece of paper instead, you can eliminate that. So let's make that into a card. Let me close this up. So this is what that piece of paper looked like before I started. So it was just, that's from the Full of Life paper pack. And I'm going to put that on Melon Mambo. Full of Life, Cheryl, the one that has this on the other side. And all these fun, brightly colored papers. I love it. Love it. I'm on my second pack of that. And I wanted to put, I don't know what color twine this is, but you know me. I love my twine. Oh, I think I'm going to do lemon lime twist. I have a friend that has a twine problem. Not me, just a friend, right? All right, so let's do it this way because I like to tie it on that end. And I have a sentiment someplace that we'll put on this. I love the little bubbles. I did a few bubbles. I could have done a few more. And let's tie this. I have to go sideways. I don't know why, but I do. Okay. All right. Can you guys hear that cat? I'm sorry. We really do feed him. His name is Fat Boy, and you might guess, you might wonder, oh, why does he have that name? Well, it's probably exactly what you're thinking, although he's not so fat anymore because the vet has him on a diet. And this is a little flimsier, but I think it will be okay. I think we can get that to lie flat. It's definitely not as thick as the cardstock, and you can see some of the ink has even come through a little bit. That's right, Judy. It's like asking for a friend. I don't have the twine problem. My friend does. Asking for a friend. How much twine is too much twine? No such thing as too much twine. It's like sentiments. No matter how many you have, you don't always have the one you want. So this thanks so much comes from the same Ocean Friends stamp set. Thanks so much. And it has a great hello, friend. And I tell you, when I first saw this stamp set, I said, why do I want to send people a card with a crab or a lobster on it? Well, I know now because it's fun. I borrowed this from a friend and I loved it and I had to buy it. It's just fun. And we need fun in our life. And I did, it doesn't look real shiny, but this is an embossed sentiment. Where's my stamp? Pretend this said hello or thanks so much. I inked it first in the Versamark, and then I inked it in the boho blue and stamped it and then sprinkled it with the powder. And the Versamark being under there is sticky enough that it grabs the powder and it makes, it lets you emboss in basically any color. That's right, there's never too much DSP. So it does work to do it on a sheet of patterned paper. So the clear embossing powder just resists the ink and lets the colors beneath it shine through. So here are the cards that I made. Whoops, these are for the insides, and I'll probably stamp a little something on it. I did a butterfly on this one, and a little flower on the inside of that one. And we didn't do anything on this one yet. But there are 4 examples of Joseph's coat. So ink blending on, you can't see all of those, ink blending on a background, and then clear heat emboss and go over it with a dark color ink, or do it on a piece of DSP and let the images shine through. So thank you for joining me to watch that tonight. I got another tickle coming. I appreciate that so much. And if I can help you make cards, if you have a question about a technique, I'm happy to help. If you need a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be yours if you're in the United States, or I can hook you up with somebody from Canada for that stamp camp. All right, thank you so much for watching and have a great night. I'll be back towards the end of the week and hopefully this cold will be gone. Thank you. Bye-bye.